look at Black, he can't do much, no matter, the free hit is not there. Lian makes it away with a slash and dice combo, can start it off.
Here it's going to be Antares, the victim of a gank here, but gets the first blood with all the unleashed powers.
Trying to disrupt things in. Whoa, look at the damage!
Oh my lord, what was that? A triple kill! This is a quadra! HAU is very low!
Good afternoon, Summoners, and welcome back to the Garena LoL Collegiate League Summer 2017. My name is Vulcan, and with me is Chisto, your shoutcasters for the opening match of Day 2 of the League of Legends Collegiate League.
Yeah, we're about to witness the opening match for today between University of Cordilleras versus Holy Angel University. And both these teams are currently at the top of the standings, so I'm really excited to see how this goes.
Remember UC from last night's stream, they are still going at this game undefeated, while Holy Angel University is a constant name we hear, part of the G-Hub Gamers Hub. I personally met with the manager themselves, some of the players, and G-Hub is actually a name in the Cutovers Finals, and they even made it to the PGS.
Yeah, and I'm really interested because last night during the stream, we saw UC beat Bosu, and HAU right now in the standings, they're currently 4-1, I believe, and that one loss is versus Bosu, but UC beat Bosu. Let's see how this turns out for both teams.
So this is going to be an interesting match again because University of Cordilleras will be finding their spot, being as one of the undefeated teams moving on to the playoff stage. Well, as for Holy Angel University, they would try to fight for their, try to be more of a competitor, because if ever Holy Angel University does get a win on this, this actually knocks back UC.
Yeah, and you mentioned UC was undefeated. That is a lot of pressure on your team as well. You do have momentum, knowing you're undefeated. You feel dominant, but staying undefeated, that exerts a lot of pressure on your team to perform. So let's see if they can work through that pressure and potentially come out on top today.
Okay, this is going to be 6 games today for the LCL. While tomorrow, don't forget, it's going to be the League of Legends Varsity League every Sunday. So right after today, make sure you catch the LVL tomorrow.
Yeah, powered by Lenovo.
Powered by Lenovo. Challenge what you know. Once again, we are your casters, and what an exciting day it is, because when you're talking about collegiate esports, I love how right now it's a step up before, let's say last year, it was not as impactful, I would say, but now, thanks to LVL, thanks to LCL skill level right now, I'm pretty confident that these players can even make it to the pro scene.
Yeah, the collegiate level of esports here has been rising through the years, but let's jump right into pick and ban now. Let's see what these teams want to run for their team comps.
So far, this is going to be UC on the blue side versus Holy Angel University on the red side. Opening bans would be a Tarek. Focus ban on to, I would say, Dread, because this is going to be, preseason again. Preseason without the new patches, without any changes. Still, same scenario where fighters are really in a bad situation. And for precision tree paths, I think marksmans are more important right now compared to the previous patches.
Yeah, and you mentioned the preseason patch. We do have new runes in store for us, so let's see what strategies and builds the teams have improvised. Let's see if they have adapted to the new patch and potentially overcome all of these hurdles in front of them.
Because when you're talking about, let's say, preseason and the patches itself, it's how you, I would say, how you adapt, quickly evolve as the game progresses. And right now, you see, locking in that Nidalee. This could be a potential Nidalee jungle.
Yeah, I do believe Nidalee performs best in the jungle in the current meta. I wonder if she'll go for the Dark Harvest route and focus more on farming for that bonus damage, or go early game and pick Electrocute for that early burst. But the response from Holy Angel University is the Jace and the Jarvan. Very solid combo right there.
Oh, Jarvan in the jungle. We did talk about last night where Jarvan is a tank jungle. Clear speed is very, very slow. So again, we're seeing the return of the tank junglers. I think they're not completely useless, but they could be a better choice.
Definitely. During the new rune changes, not having the option to select specific runes for your jungler, not having the attack speed on Jarvan, you're not going to be able to clear as fast compared to the Nidalee. But looking at what the other teams have locked, the other team has locked in, they picked Xayah, And Holy Angel University, they respond by picking Rakan, so denying that bot lane couple combo.
I really love the fact that you see they're picking up this top Sion against this Jace. That Jace won't do much against a Sion because, let's face it, what are you going to do against a Sion when you're going to build, let's say, Ninja Tabi first? We did see this last night where Sion did get matched with the Renekton, and immediately he picked up the Ninja Tabi and Bramblebus. What happened to the Renekton became so irrelevant that the pick worked against them.
Yeah, but I do believe if HAU are able to play around this Jace is a very snowbally champion. If you're able to get him ahead over the Sion, he will be very effective before the Sion gets tanky enough to deal with the damage of Jace.
So very interesting drafts coming in from UC. I love to see how this Nidalee jungle will perform again in this matchup between Holy Angel University, Gamers Up versus University of Cordilleras, Requiem Esports. And for Jarvan against the Nidalee, this is very delicate. If this Jarvan feeds really hard in the early game, that Nidalee is going to abuse the fact that it's going to snowball all the lanes.
Yeah, definitely. But looking at the picks of University of Cordilleras, I think they're going to have a hard time trying to 5v5 teamfight versus all the AoE from Holy Angel University. Having that Sivir and Rakan engage paired to the Jarvan, you can just jump onto the members of UC, and the only peel tool they have is the Black Shield for Morgana. That's not a lot of disengage. I mean, Xayah does have the Feather Storm, but you can't Feather Storm out of a Cataclysm of Jarvan, so they need to be very careful on how they navigate these fights versus HAU.
And not to mention, this is a Jarvan and an Orianna combo. I always love to see a Jarvan and a Orianna because of the potential lockdown that Holy Angel University can bring to a clash, especially when you're using it with great timing. So this is all about timing when it comes to Holy Angel University. How? Well, as for UC, more of pickups, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. UC's comp is definitely better for those pickoffs, trying to catch out the members of Holy Angel University that are out of position. But for Holy Angel University, let's wait and see if they can land those massive wombo combos with the Rakan and Orianna and the Jarvan as well.
I have high expectations in this game, especially for HAU to pull off that ideal clash. And whereas for UC, let's see if they will snowball their Nidalee to victory. This is going to be the first game of today's stream. Once again, this is the Garena LoL Collegiate League Summer 2017 powered by Lenovo Challenge. What you know, before we go into the game itself, before we go live on the Rift, let's see how this team are really going to adapt, because when you're talking about matchups from the top lane to the mid lane to the bot lane, what I can see most is going to be very interesting is the Nidalee jungle.
Yeah, the Nidalee jungle does clear fast with the new runes. She has been sort of buffed in a sense, but she's still very tricky and mechanically challenging champion to play. You need to land your spear in order to get all that bonus damage, and it's a fairly easy skill shot to dodge, but if you're a very competent Nidalee player and you play her well, can really impact the map faster compared to this Jarvan pick.
Jarvan pick, in a way, so you're saying that the Jarvan pick is more on, let's say, defensive?
I think the Jarvan pick has to pull the trigger earlier than the Nidalee, because if Nidalee gets ahead earlier, the Jarvan won't be as effective and he'll really just be a meat shield for engages.
So, I think this is the reason why I kept saying that the jungler tanks are really awkward, because when you're a jungler tank, you used to pick up the seals of armor, glyphs of magic resist. You don't need to really focus onto your defensive stats. You more on focus on your, let's say, Cinderhawk or Warrior Enchantment. But for Jarvan, it's very difficult.
Yeah, because of the new rune system, we don't get our early game resistances right now, so it's very tricky. The game sort of accelerates in that sense, where the tanks are squishier in the early game, so it's very tricky for them to be effective. That really means that early game champions will have an advantage during this game.
And this is literally we're talking about with the Dark Harvest. So,
possibly a Dark Harvest or Electrocute.
I would say a Dark Harvest, perhaps.
Let's see what he chose to run, but I'm a big fan of Electrocute for early game junglers. I think it's a very effective rune for them. Provides a lot of burst damage. So let's just see what runes have been selected, because preseason as well, the runes are very tricky. You need to figure out what works best for your style and what works best for your champion and for the matchups as well. So it's really, really interesting to see what these semi-pro players have in store for us.
So when we're talking about semi-pro players, this is the LCL. They have the pride, they have the school name at stake. So It's all come down to how well you manage your team, how well you practice, because if you don't practice as a team in the LCL, you won't make it far.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that's the struggle of new teams entering the LCL.
Yeah, if you're a rookie team, you don't have the gist of what actually happens. So you're trying to figure out how much we scrim, who do we scrim, when do we scrim. And practices are very important if you want to succeed in esports. You need to practice with your team. You need to build that synergy.
So while we're waiting before we go into the lift, looks like we're having some delays here. That could be the in-game pauses be taking an effect for players to get adjusted towards the game 1 between University of Cordilleras versus Holy Angel University.
Yeah, so let's talk about the new format of the LCL, but I do believe we are getting into the game, so let's skip over that. We are here for game 1 between University of Cordilleras versus Holy Angel University.
So this is going to be a very, very impactful game where University of Cordilleras, they have the stake of being the undefeated team, whereas Holy Angel University, Gamers Hub, right now, as you said, they're sitting at a 4-1 standing. Is that correct? So they do want to maintain their lead.
Yeah, the one loss that Holy Angel University has is versus Bolsu, which UC took down yesterday in a rather dominant fashion. So will we see UC dominate Holy Angel University, or will HAU come out on top this game? I think we have to watch the junglers and how they play during this early game, because both teams would want to play around the top side of the map, because if Jace snowballs and goes out of control, he'll be a really painful champion to deal with once we hit those mid-game fights.
But when we're talking about a Jace is a rather relative easy champion to itemize against. I mean, just pick up the Ninja Tabi and the Brahmo Vest, you're good to go. And we're talking about Cyan, who already has innate attackness, has a scaling of health due to his passive and his W. So what can this Jace do? I mean, rush the Serene Dark, would that be enough? I don't think so.
Now, I think what Jace has to itemize towards those anti-tank items, possibly go for a Black Cleaver and Blade of the Ruined King combo. Those will help him take down the Cyan even faster, and if he picks up the Lord Dominic's Regards, the tankier the Cyan gets, the more damage the Jace will actually do to him. So I think Jarvan has to play around this top side and try to get this Jace ahead, because if Cyan gets a fairly safe laning phase, he can deal with all that ranged bully poke from Monina in the top lane.
I really love the return of the melee supports, especially the Rakan, the Alistar, the Braum, making their way into the preseason. But you gotta hand it to the Morgana. The Morgana's Dark Binding is something you do not want to get caught up, and try your best to avoid it.
Yeah, we call the Dark Binding the AFK warning, because if it lands on you, it's like you're AFK. You're not gonna move for like 2 to 3 seconds, depending on how far it's been leveled. But you mentioned melee supports. Would you argue that Rakan is melee?
Oh, I really thought he was melee, because one time I wanted to play into the top lane, I was gonna buy and rush a Tiamat, then it says only for melee, then it hit me. Wait, Rakan is ranged.
Wait, so can you buy Runan's Hurricane on Rakan?
I think you can, because he's ranged, because I just got really bamboozled there, thinking that Rakan was melee support, but that's gonna be some trade-offs in the bot lane. Rakan's very low, he does flash away the cost of the heal from Drin.
Very interesting there. And looking at what runes the AD carries decided to run, they both have press the attack. Once you land 3 auto attacks onto a target champion, the next sources of damage will deal even more damage, so very effective for team fights as well.
Very effective for Morgana, because when you're talking about the Tormented Soil and the Dark Bind, it lasts pretty long, and if you proc the press the attack in that duration, that ups the damage.
Yeah, definitely. But you mentioned the bot lane, right? For these trades, Akinos has to time his Black Shields properly so they don't get CC'd by the Rakan, because if the knockup lands, that's a huge win for the Sivir Rakan lane.
And the Sivir Rakan lane is very aggressive despite having no mana for Drin. Flash is already burnt by this Rakan. I'm not sure they should risk it anymore. One more Dark Binding and this Rakan could be dead.
Yeah, and you see right there, he's trying to dodge the Dark Binding as well as he can, but they do have that Ignite, and if they're able to land the knockup without the heal available on Akinos, they can possibly take him down even easier now.
I mean, first blood is still at stake. Whoever gets first blood gets a huge advantage, and when you're talking about a semi-pro league like the LCL, first blood is really crucial.
Yeah, but we have seen teams get a lead in the early game, but They're looking for a trade here.
Oh, the Dark Binding misses by a long shot, and thanks to Rakan's rage, they make it out alive. And seeing Cry gets spotted in the bot lane.
Yeah, Akinos will have a rather hard time trying to land that Dark Binding because Drin has that spell shield on Sivir, so
but Cry
he will eat it. But Cry is in the bot lane.
looking for some sniping, aiming for Drin, and he does get spotted by a ward there, so he will try and back off. Looks like Jarvan will be catching up. That will be a double knock-up, potentially, but does get denied by the flash. Looks like Nidalee does get the ignite off him, so that will be, I would say, a trade-up in summoners.
Yeah, good flash by Cry there. I think he would have died if Jian was able to land the knock-up, but good reaction time from Cry. He's able to flash away, so good response. Ooh, Vantus invaded. They're going for a trade here.
God, looks like Cry, he does not have his flash available. Thank God the blast cone was there.
Yeah, the blast cone saves his life, and good aggressive move by Vansu. Understanding that Nidalee doesn't have flash, he can take a trade in the jungle if a fight does happen. So good aggression coming from the Jarvan.
Quick judgment and really smart decision too, because when you're talking about Nidalee, as much as possible, you want to remove the...
Ooh.
Nice timing though. Oh, look at the duration of the stun. Well, back to what I was saying, when you're talking about a Nidalee jungle, you really want to deny or delay the jungle pass, the jungle clear of a Nidalee.
Yeah, unfortunately though, with Cry not having a splash, he will be forced to play a bit more passive because if he does get caught out in the jungle while he's invading, the members of Holy Angel University are going to have a very easy time catching that Nidalee without the flash. It's one less escape option for him. So looking at the mid lane matchup here, Corki versus Orianna, I think Corki does have an advantage in the early phase, trying to shove in the Orianna, and once JP picks up a possible Hex Drinker, it's going to mitigate a lot of the damage Toxic does, so we'll just have to wait and see how he plans to build this Corki.
I mean, right now we're seeing a pattern. I mean, Nidalee went to the bot lane, goes to the mid lane. Now, what is the focus of these teams to who to snowball? Because right now top lane is a bit lonely. I guess it's not more of a priority here. Jace can really still scale off well just by farming from minions, but at this point, you really want to snowball the Corki.
I think Corki's mid game is probably one of the strongest for the champions right now. Once he does complete a possible Trinity Force, he'll deal a lot of poke and burst damage, and with the package, he can impact side lanes as well. I think a big win condition for UC is getting their solo laners ahead and trying to get picks with the Morgana, because if HAU groups and they go 5v5, I see UC being at a disadvantage because the members of Holy Angel University can just run them down with their Rakan and Sivir. And so they have to be very cautious about that.
Yeah, and I think it's very smart that the Rakan and Sivir is working, because by pushing so hard, this Morgana can't even run to the mid lane.
Yeah, definitely, because Sivir has a lot of wave clear. Just one ricochet and then her Q, the wave's already gone. But Xayah doesn't have that luxury yet. Until she has a Essence Reaver, she doesn't have the mana to clear the waves instantly compared to the Sivir.
So far for CS-wise, very even score except for the top lane and the mid lane. Very slight differences, but at this point, First Blood has yet to be secured. 8 minutes into the game, I would say gold lead is irrelevant so far, and looks like the package has been received by JP. Maybe the package would be the answer for JP to get the First Blood.
Yeah, and we see JP picking up the package. You see Airy on the side, so I guess he did go for that rune. And what Airy does, it adds a bit more poke to your damage. And Corki being a poke-oriented champion, the Airy's just going to deal more damage. But Monina
really not respecting the science potential damage, but looks like JP might go for a Banzai attack towards top lane. He does have the package, goes in. He does not spot the Jace, but does the snipe towards the brush. That is going to be a very easy First Blood for JP.
Yeah, and that's a smart roam by JP. He sees his top laner just want to trade versus the Jace, and he knows that Monina is chunked. With his package, he gets so much move speed, and he makes the right decision going to the top side, and it picks up First Blood for the Corki. Good start by University of Cordilleras.
Good start, and especially for the Scion. He got an assist from that First Blood. So because of this, look at that. I keep saying it before. Ninja Tabi and Brahmo Vest, and you're good to go. And he immediately picks that up. And at this point, what can a Jace do? What can Monina do at this point? Because that is actually a very fast rush.
Yeah, you seem very...
Oh wait, hold that thought. There is a gang in the bot lane, however. We do see the Jar Band. Ooh, the Dark Bind does give it away.
Yeah, the Sivir engaged not fast enough, and with GN not having the quickness yet, they don't have that huge engage option, and there's so much safety from UC. So smart choice by them. They see the roam coming, they back off. But looking back at his top lane matchup, you seem very familiar in how to itemize versus the Jace, and I think it's a big mistake by Minute, but they're fighting in the bot lane.
That is actually a walk in, and the Featherstorm does go the opposite way, but there's the knock up, there's the flash away from the Xayah. Very low in health. Would the neck be enough? That is very low, but he does survive with a slither of health.
Oh, but there's more.
Jarvan going in, he does not have his... Oh wait, he does have his flash, but goes straight for the Morgana. Let's see, JP may roam to the bot side, but that would be Akinos gets taken down by the Jarvan, and Cry gets... Oh, I would say just chunked down in the river thanks to the Orianna's respawns.
Yeah, a 2-for-0 trade across the map in favor of Holy Angel University, and that was a good roam again by Vansu, understanding he can't go for Akinos because they didn't have any summoners left. And quite unlucky for how that the Xayah survived with 1 HP, and those picks will net them this first tower of the game.
So far, Holy Angel University, they are going to be getting the first turn of the game. That is actually a huge lead for themselves because First Blood did go to JP. It's great that they took away the first turret away from UC, because if they also gave the first turret, that's bad news.
Yeah, and I think they can opt to begin swapping their lanes here and move the Sivir to a different lane so that they can potentially siege even more. So let's just wait and see how they go. But the Infernal Drake is up, and I think both teams will be very interested to contest that objective. And UC are on it now. They're going for this Infernal Drake. I wonder if HAU will be able to respond. There's a teleport.
Coming in, Molina is there. He might go for a snipe. There's the teleport for the Cyan. Looks at the shockwave, will not connect, but does get the root onto the Sivir. Toxic's very low. That will be JP just popping up the damage onto Toxic. Fancy goes in, but an awkward spot. Does not have the ultimate up just yet. Does not have the flash. He just made a death wish, giving the double kill to France. Now Molina is onto France. He gets the shot down onto him, goes onto Akinos, does get the snipe for a trade off. A very, very messy fight, but in the end, UC comes out on top for a 4-2 trade.
Yeah, huge trade from UC and the Infernal Drake as well on their side. HAU tried to respond, but UC was fast. They saw that Holy Angel University had recalled, and they go instantly into that Infernal Drake. They're able to pick it up before the members of HAU arrive. So good team fight there, and look at the burst coming from JP. He just absolutely popped Toxic during that fight, and really well played from UC fighting back.
And I don't understand what was the Jarvan thinking, because at that point when he went in, he didn't have his ultimate up. He didn't have his flash. At that moment, he knew he made a mistake. He knew that he made a death wish for himself, and let's see the replay for more detailed explanation.
Yeah, so let's go over the start of this fight right here. It starts off from UC making a move to the Infernal Drake, but unfortunately the members of HAU were late. So the response from them was kind of miscommunicated because Toxic had already died and missed the shockwave. And without that ultimate, there's no real fight you can win. So unfortunately, they are able to trade a few kills, but UC still comes out on top.
Oh, and that Siren for the last kill with his so devastating blow for a trade-off. But in the end, they got more out of it. They got the Infernal Drake.
Yeah, that's a huge buff onto this comp. Corki and Xayah will be very happy with that Infernal Drake, adding even more damage. And with Vansu picking up this Warrior Enchantment, I don't see a real tank from the members of Holy Angel University. Whereas from UC, they have that Scion for the tanky front line. So if the members of HAU get poked down, they have no way to start a fight. Because Vansu is so squishy, he'll just get bursted down if he decides to go in.
And we're talking about a Jarvan without any innate tankiness. Just his Aegis lead, just his shield is there. His W is on his shield. That's bad news, but looks like in the top side, the trade-off is not working so well. Thunderstorm is there for the escape. He is very low, should back away. Good decision coming from UC and great aggression from Holy Angel University.
Kind of an over-eager use of the Rakan ultimate there. He didn't really use it to taunt anyone.
He wanted to go in, but he was scared of the Dark Bind.
Yeah, and I think that last auto attack being dodged by the Featherstorm was really clutch because if he didn't dodge that auto attack, he would have been forced to use a barrier, and Burn Summoner is bad. So let's see what they're going to try to go for here. They are sieging the top lane.
They're seeing your top lane. They will be forced to back up, but the Rift Herald is being taken away by Vansu.
Yeah, the Rift Herald will help them siege even more towers. Holy Angel University does have an advantage in that sense. They're gonna try to
spotted. That's bad news for this Jarvan. He does not have to escape. He just got the cooldown off. Will be making it out alive, but with the Rift Herald going to UC, that is such a huge loss for Holy Angel.
But then you see a steal here. There's Shockwave available. I wonder if he will pull the trigger.
They go for it. Trying to go for steal, but no, he's a bit too close. Gets the Dark Binding instead, but the Shockwave, okay, it happened, but nothing else followed up there. So I would say for Toxic, that was actually a very ambitious call.
Yeah, that was disastrous for Holy Angel University, but they're fighting in the bot lane.
Oh, it looks like this is going to be a punching bag type of fight because this Jace is fighting against a Saiyan with a Ninja Tabi and a Bramble Vest.
Oh, but it's mid lane as well.
Oh, he does not have the mana. Ooh, gets a lot of damage from that rocket.
Yeah, so much damage coming from JP, and that comes from him picking up first blood from his drum. Ooh, he gets caught.
Gets dunked.
Gets dunked, but looking back at that Rift Herald take, Holy Angel University, they gave UC a big leash because Vansu started it, and unfortunately Toxic overextended to try and steal it. The Dark Binding lands and it costs him his life. That is disastrous for Holy Angel University, and with UC picking up the Rift Herald, they are able to open up the map by taking down all of the outer turrets of Holy Angel University.
And this Rift Herald could have taken down would say, some chunk of health away from the inner turret, but looks like Toxic is there to stop its advance with him getting the blue buff from the Jarvan. So what's happening wrong? What is Holy Angel University's plan right now? Because what we wanted to see was the ideal clash where we see the Orianna and the Jarvan work together. We don't see that because their timing of their ultimates are off because they have their own fights.
Yeah, for Holy Angel University, they have to come online with their superior team fighting comp. They have to begin to look for these engages before UC gets tanky enough to deal with their burst, and they're trying to brute force his mid lane, sending 3 members.
Okay, with that said, 3 members in the mid lane for HAU, and UC just backs up, giving away the second turret for HAU, so the turret score stands at 2-2, but the gold lead is really minimal despite the 3-kill advantage, but looks
I think they're gonna go dive here.
Oh, the Dark Binding does really a lot of work onto Jean, and looks like now this snipe. Oh, Akinos gets chucked down by the Jace. Teleport coming in, the Shockwave does connect onto Frax. He does use the severe better start, but there will be no escape from the Jace.
Man, Franz not using his summoners there could have possibly survived, but the response from JP, look at the damage coming from Corki. Already Trinity Force completed, 100% kill participation. This Corki is absolutely popping off.
Yes, he almost has his ultimate ready. He is aiming for the knock-up.
Will the spear land?
Oh, he's very close, but I would say that Rakan is a very hard target to hunt down.
Yeah, Rakan, very slippery there, but you see, they know they can play aggressive because Corki's so fed at the moment. He's getting so much fun, so much gold from all these kills happening across the map, and I like what Holy Angel University tried to do there. They tried to go in for an aggressive play because that's what they do have to do. They have to begin grouping up and trying to go for a team fight, but unfortunately, JP wasn't their focus. They focused on the Morgana, and all these skirmishes happening, I think UC will pick up a second Drake for themselves in the Cloud Drake.
That'll be the Cloud Drake taken away by UC, and that's going to give them a lot of roam potential with the Baron being live in 1 minute and 30 seconds, and the next Drake will be Infernal. UC has complete control of the bot lane Riverside.
Yeah, UC will want to... Oh, actually, both teams would want to go for that Infernal Drake, which is a huge buff for your team, and it looks like they will take down the final outer turret in the bot lane, and the response from Holy Angel University sent Sivir top lane to respond with a tower of their own.
Oh, look at that. 4 members behind the push does fail the engage. They have lost the element of surprise, but look at Vansu. Like we said, he is so squishy. He can go all in he wants, but he will not survive.
Yeah, a botched engage there coming from Jen, missing the quickness. Unfortunately, even though they could go for that engage, if you fail one of those key ultimates, you're just gonna lose the fight because Corki is so fed and he engaged onto the Scion. You don't want to be engaging onto the tank. Akinos is in a bit of trouble here, but it looks like UC will pick up the second tier turret.
What happened there? Look at the cooldown of the Orianna's ultimate. Halfway there, but here's the replay.
They're trying to go for a death pusher, but unfortunately, Gian, he engaged onto the Scion. Why would you engage onto the attack line when there is a fed Corki? And unfortunately, Vansu isn't building tanky at all. And the Shockwave only landing into one member doesn't really help his team that much. And at this point, the fight is just all UC. HAU cannot do anything.
You know what happened there? Miscommunication, mistimed ults. Orianna had her ultimate ready. We did see the Toxic use the Shockwave. Vansu had the Cataclysm. Why didn't they work together?
Miscommunication, Vulcan, and the start from Gian as well. That was such a botched engage because on Huracan, you just need to click near them before tossing your knockup so that you assure that it lands. But with a Black Shield onto the single target Scion, you really aren't able to knock anyone and taunt anyone for the Huracan quickness. So unfortunately, a botched engage from Holy Angel University just put them in this deficit. And it's barren in the eyes of UC now.
Not to mention, Vansu is going to build the Black Cleaver. Those are, yes, Black Cleaver, but he needs at least a Gargoyle Stone Blade. Would just be more than enough. It's cheap, it's effective, can work really well for the Jarvan.
Yeah, I see very greedy builds here from Holy Angel University. Chase building full lethality versus a Scion. No armor shred, and the Jarvan needs to be the tank, and unfortunately he did opt to go for AD, so no real front line. And the Sivir as well, no Essence Reaver. You don't have that same mana sustain, whereas the Xayah, she does have the Essence Reaver, so she will be able to stay longer in these fights with the extra mana.
I really love how, that's going to be bad news. I really love how UC sees an opportunity, they go for it, especially what happened in the bot lane. The surprise attack failed and they took it for themselves, turning it around. And right now, Holy Angel University, they're trying their best to fight off against UC. The Baron is at stake here. No one wants to get picked up. Oh my god, that is going to be very, very stressful for HAU. They can't even get near without the fear of this Morgana.
Yeah, Akinos just landed 3 bindings in a row. So many AFK warnings tossed toward the side of Holy Angel University. And from HAU, they need to be very careful face-checking this Baron area, because if Akinos lands a binding, and if 5 members begin hitting you, you're just gone. You're gonna die within the time you are in the Dark Bindings, so they have to be very careful face-checking, but unfortunately, they don't have a tank to face-check. Vansu is fairly squishy, so if he does go for the face-check, he's just dead.
I wanna see Holy Angel University work together for once. I mean, synchronize their ultimate, synchronize their focus. Right now, I think they're fighting against each other. They don't know who to focus on. Jarvan goes onto the Scion for no reason, misses the Corki, while Orianna just uses the ultimate onto one target. Why not use it together? Why not, if you're not going to trust the Jarvan, at least put it into the Rakan?
I think you can credit that as well to the way UC positions themselves during these fights. They aren't clumping up for these big AoE ultimates, and with all of them being separated, Holy Angel University can be a bit confused on who to target. And all of these champions, they're very slippery. France having that Feather Storm, but with that being said, they're going onto the Baron.
Oh, and looks like the severe Grid is just fresh from the base. Vansu trying to make his entrance. Let's see how things turn out. Ultimates are all up, especially for Toxic and Vansu. That'll be the redemption for the heal. Okay, this is a good opportunity. Great zone from HAU.
Yeah, they're respecting the steal potential because it still is a 50-50. I wonder if Holy Angel University will go for an engage, and I think both teams will just back off.
Well, they will just be backing up. They will not risk anymore. And at this point, HAU has the advantage of the waves. They will be pushing the inner mid lane turret.
Yeah, UC rather hesitant there, and with the poke coming from the Jace, he's able to land those empowered shock blasts, and it stops UC from going for the Baron, as well as the possible steal coming from Vansu. There's a flank!
There's the flag coming from Kissy. Great teleport play, followed by the Corki. Misses the lockup, but Vansu makes it away. This will be Jin also backing off. So teleport is gone for Kissy. This may opt for the Baron.
Yeah, pings onto the Baron. They force Holy Angel University to back off. Sivir is still bot lane. If she doesn't reach this fast enough, they can't potentially take this down. They're going for it.
Oh boy, that's going to be a really, really risky call. Let's look at Toxic. Let's look at the ball, where the ball is at. That could change everything, because watch out for that Orianna Shockwave, because this is going to be a very decisive clash between Holy Angel University and UC. But looks like UC, they know the threat. They are backing off. They don't want to risk it. They know the potential that HAU can bring to the clash. Instead, eyeing Drin because he's alone like a little duck.
I think Drin can get away here.
I don't think he can get away. Oh, Jin does get away safely, but the flash does get burned by Drin. And at this point, UC is doing a really good job wasting the summoner spells, wasting the resources of Holy Angel University. And with the Infernal Drake live, they can't do anything to contest it.
Man, a bit of hesitation here from UC, not really sure whether to go for the objective or for the team fight. They do pick up their third Drake of the game in this Infernal Drake, and it is massive for the Corki inside. But looking back at the Baron dance initially, they were hesitant. They didn't know if they should commit to doing the Baron or commit to going for a team fight, because even though they were trying to zone the members of Holy Angel University, enough poke landed onto the members of UC to dissuade them from going for the Baron buff.
Maybe this could be Holy Angel University's chance to come back to this game, because at this point, no one has a huge lead, except when you're talking about macro, talking about objectives. We're talking about, let's say, Infernal Drakes, 2 Infernal Drakes. It's all on the UC. They have more damage. But when you're talking about items, they're almost even out.
Yeah, and you mentioned the gold league, right? Even though it's 12 kills to 7 in favor of UC, the gold is still close. It's just 100 gold separating these teams, and I think that can be credited to the amount of CS the solo laners from Holy Angel University have been able to pick up, with all of the lanes pushing towards them. That's all these minions, all that gold going to you, and they're playing this very well, being patient, trying to look for that opportunity. But with that being said, when the opportunity does arise, they need to land their abilities.
Looks like Bansu is clearing some vision. UC does not feel comfortable without having any vision in the Baron pit, so they are making their approach. Does use the plant to scout out some wards. And as you said, yes, they have no advantages in gold, but they do have advantages in raw combat stats. They have 2 Infernal Drakes.
Yeah, UC has to still be very careful here, because if HAU pulls the trigger and they land their CC abilities, their team fight is just massive. They can erupt for these big wombo combos with the Orianna Shockwave. So UC has to be very careful, even though they have fed members.
Oh boy. Looks like they're going to be splitting up.
Here we go.
There goes the side. He does miss everyone. It's like heat of the battle. There is the on the hunt. But great poke from Monina to really scramble. UC looks like Fancy goes in. This could be the Shockwave. No, this is not the Shockwave we were looking for. But still, Monina does a good job getting a shot down. And this is going to be UC running away from Holy Angel University. That is going to be a double kill. This is going to be the ace of the game.
Yeah, a 5-for-1 ace for Holy Angel University. And with no members from UC on the map, they can take anything they want. I think they are going to go for this mid inhibitor. This tower is going to go down fast.
They may just go for the inhibitor next. Maybe go for one Nexus turret, but that's a bit too greedy. They will be forced to back away after this.
Yeah, Holy Angel University. They're going for more.
They're going for more. They want more. Maybe they can end this. They are going to be rushing. They're going to rush this turret.
Yeah, University of Cordillera, they're trying to stay undefeated. Holy Angel University, they want to be that one loss on UC, but they will just back off here.
They will try to back up, but they still got a good trade. What happened there was hesitation from UC.
Yeah, and great flank from the Jace. Look at this team fight. They are stuck between a rock and a hard place. The team fight from HAU is rather sloppy at the start, but they are able to land it now. And look at all this damage landing onto UC, as well as the flank from Jace. This is just so much hesitation from UC. They hesitate to pull the trigger first, and HAU just cleans up their members. Really great team fight played, and we have to notice that Kissy as well, he missed the initial Sion ultimate, and they should have backed off once that ultimate missed, because at this point there's really nothing they could do, and it cost them their base.
Oh, possibly, maybe the Baron. Looks like the Baron. Oh, there's the 4-man Shockwave. There is the damage engaged, and that will be Holy Angel University really wrecking the members of UC inside the Baron pit. And now with 3-4 members down, this could be another ace of the game.
Yeah, a clean ace for Holy Angel University. And I do believe that will be the game and the Baron. UC overreaching, trying to finish the Baron in time, but the response from Holy Angels University and Grace, and HAU is in the base. They're knocking on the Nexus starts.
Oh,
the Nexus is gonna fall down.
What happened?
UC are no longer undefeated, and Holy Angel University, they take them down for their 5th win in the LCL.
Let's digest what happened there. I mean, one mistake is good enough, but they did not let that mistake go? They just went for the Baron, they were grouped up together. That is actually a perfect scenario for the Orianna. I mean, the Baron pit worked for the Orianna, they were all clumped up.
Yeah, I think you see so much hesitation from their side. They did have a fed Corki, but unfortunately, they didn't want to pull the trigger, and when they did, they missed. And the team fight, we know that HAU did have a superior team fighting comp, and when we went for these 5v5s, they just showed why their comp is superior for these clashes, and they win.
And I would say for UC, they really tried their best to contest the Baron after getting ace, after losing the Nexus turn and the inhibitor. That was such a huge blow, and I think it really affected the players. And after that, they just risked everything towards the Baron and lost all of it.
I think it was a do or die play, a desperation move perhaps. If they do pick up Baron, they can delay the game, but Holy Angel University, they did respond, and it cost University of Cordillera the game.
So it looks like Holy Angel University will be breaking the winning streak of UC. Congratulations again to Gamers Up, Holy Angel University, what a tongue twister, for their victory in Game 1. Don't go away just yet. We will be having a short break. Moving on to Game 2. This is the Garena LoL Collegiate League Summer 2017. Challenge what you know. We have been the Shoutcasters. My name is Vulcan, and with me is Chista. See you after the break. Now BJP just popping up the damage on the Toxic Fancy goes in, where awkward spot does not have the ultimate up just yet, does not have the flash. He just made a death wish, giving a double kill to France. Now Molina is onto France, he gets the shot down onto him, goes onto Akinos, does get the snipe for a trade up. A very, very messy fight, but in the end, UC comes out on top for a 4. Does fail the engage. They have lost element of surprise, but look at Bansu. Like we said, he is so squishy. He can go all in he wants, but he will not survive.
Yeah, a botched engage there coming from
side. He does miss everyone. He is in the heat of the battle. There is Tia on the hunt. But great pull from Molina to really scramble. You see, it looks like Fancy goes in. This could be the shockwave. No, this is not the shockwave we were looking for. But still, Molina does a good job getting a shot down. And this is going to be UC running away from Holy Angel University. That is going to be a double kill. This is going to be the ace of the game.
Yeah, a 5-for-1 ace for Holy Angel University.
Oh, there's the 4-man shockwave. There is the damage engaged, and that will be Holy Angel University really wrecking the members of UC inside the Baron pit. And now with 3-4 members down, this could be another ace of the game.
Yeah, a clean ace for Holy Angel University. The Nexus is gonna fall down.
What happened?
UC are no longer undefeated, and Holy Angel University, they take them down for their 5th win in the LCL.
Let's digest what happened.
Not enough Garena shells to buy the latest League of Legends skin? On sale now? Get shells anytime, anywhere with your Globe or Touch mobile number. Go to gamer.com.ph and sign up with your mobile number and enter the verification code you will receive via SMS. Log in and choose the game and pin you want. Check out to purchase the pin with your load or through your postpaid account and receive the pin on your phone instantly. Never miss a sale on your favorite League of Legends skins and champions with Gamer.